Now, joining us from Dhaka is Greg Simmons. He is a Russian politics analyst and also a professor of armed conflicts and journalism at Daffodil International University. Very good to have you on the program, Professor. What's your reading here of the situation? Was it Putin's phone call to Donald Trump that ensured that Zelenskyy was unable to get a deal done there at Mar-a-Lago?
I think it's a bit more complex than that. Perhaps Trump has seen a few things from the Russian perspective that he wasn't really appreciating before. But if we look at it, he understands that this conflict, as it drags on, it's bad for US geopolitical interests because the main competitor, being China, is unable to be checked or balanced by the United States while it is embroiled in this conflict. The second reason seems to be something more personal, that he does not want to be seen to be the president in charge when Ukraine falls militarily. I mean, he always compares himself to Biden. And of course, Biden's moment, which he keeps on emphasizing, was the debacle in Afghanistan. So he does not want a repeat of that. So this is something deeply, potentially personal to him, as well as for the US geopolitical interests.
Professor, I don't know if you stayed up overnight listening to that press conference with both Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelenskyy, but if you listen to the words of Donald Trump, it almost seems like he thinks that Russia wants Ukraine to succeed. I want to play a short clip here for you, and let's just listen to what Donald Trump had to say.
They're going to be helping. Russia's going to be helping. Russia wants to see Ukraine succeed. Once it sounds a little strange, but I was explaining to the president, President Putin was very generous in his feeling toward Ukraine succeeding, including supplying energy, electricity, and other things at very low prices. So a lot of good things came out of that call today.
So those are the words of Donald Trump. But if Russia actually wants Ukraine to succeed, why not agree to a ceasefire?
Well, the point is a ceasefire is not a resolution to the conflict, and this has been something which Russia has stated all along. The second point, I don't think this is something that Russia or Putin has said directly. This seems to be something from Trump to kind of ingratiate himself to have a more understanding and sympathetic Putin, because he's heaping praise on Putin. So this seems to be a kind of diplomacy to Putin via the press conference to earn some leniency or some understanding or leverage, if we want to put it this way, in these negotiations.
Professor, now the French President Macron is going to be gathering that coalition of the willing early next month for countries to sort of say how much they can contribute to those security guarantees. But where do you see Russia's red lines here? Would Putin be willing to have European troops on the ground in Ukraine to ensure that there are no further aggression taking place from Russia?
Absolutely not. I mean, this has been clearly stated by Russia and Putin specifically, because this would be defeating the whole purpose of Russia's special military operation, which has been to prevent this situation from unfolding. So this would be a massive red line, and it'll be back to square one. And there will be no ceasefire, there will be no peace agreement if that happens. And the second point, there's a lot of posturing from Europe about this, because they've spent a lot of political capital and reputation saying that they're going to defeat Russia in Ukraine. And this seems to be some kind of political virtue signaling to save face, because the situation is that they are not defeating Russia, and this is some kind of attempt at looking as though they have not been roundly defeated politically and militarily.
All right, Greg Simmons live for us from Dhaka. Thank you so much, Greg.